It's been about a month and a week since I was laid off, so here's how I'm feeling and here is how things are going. My initial response to my layoff was the furthest thing from calm, but what came after in that first week after I was laid off, I was pretty calm and confident together. Like, I literally felt so good, which is an odd thing to say because I definitely need income. It wasn't like I'm calm and confident because I have this all figured out, but I just really had this strong belief in myself. All of this was happening for a reason and that ultimately it would benefit me and my future good. However, what happened the second and third week after the layoff was pure panic. I started not sleeping well. I started worrying, a lot of anxiety, was very unsure of how things were going to actually happen and unfold for me. Things were going well. Things have gone well as an influencer this year. However, that income is has been very inconsistent. My influencer money has always been my play money, my fun money. Like I got McDonald's money. You know what I'm saying? When the McDonald's money becomes the main money, honey. I got laid off on November 18th, which is a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving. So fast forward to Thanksgiving, I went home, celebrated with family, came back to New York. And when I came back to New York, I had a couple of days before I left for Dallas, Texas to go to a business conference that I actually won a scholarship for. I was so grateful to win this scholarship because it was something that I felt like I really needed in this time. So here's what I did. I got laid off on the 18th. On the 19th, I reached out to a business coach who I had had a session with earlier this year. I knew she was running a business boot camp in December and I wanted to ask if I could apply for a scholarship. So I sent her an email and I said, hey, I know your business conference is coming up. Is there any way that I can apply? She sent me all of the information. I completed a video essay. And then a couple of days later, I was notified that I would be receiving a scholarship to attend the Gold Digger Conference in Dallas, Texas. I immediately jumped in trying to figure everything out. My flight was taken care of. The cost of the conference was also taken care of, but my hotel was something that I was going to have to pay out of pocket. But I went to the conference and I do think it was well worth the expense. I started my business, Kaisha Creates LLC, in 2018. And the first year that Kaisha Creates really made like serious money was 2022. And so now that it is 2024, it might be 2025 when you see this video, but now that it's 2024, I am so happy to say that I've been able to double my income every year that I've been making money. Now, again, social media influencing is my fun money. It has never been my main money, but now that it's my main money, I have felt the biggest push, and honestly before now as well, but I really just feel such a big push to make sure that I'm running this business as efficiently as I can. I think I've allowed myself to kind of like run my business a little willy-nilly, mainly because I've had a 9-to-5 this whole time that I've been running my business. But now that my business is my main income, I can't run it like that anymore. I honestly wish that I had come to this through different circumstances, but here we are and we are making the best of it. But I can't play no more, y'all. Like, we cannot play games. At this point, I have to be really serious because ultimately, while I am open to going back to corporate America if necessary, I don't want to have to. I would love to be a full-time entrepreneur, a full-time creative. Like, I want to figure out how to make this thing work. So going back to the Sistah Biz conference, Gold Digger, I really learned so much about not just working in the business, but on the business. There are a lot of things that go into the back end of running a business that I was not spending as much time on as I need to. And now that I'm aware of those things, because I kind of knew some things and then there were some things I'd never heard of and I was like, whoa, new information. I am now better equipped to actually work on those things and set those things up so that my business has a more solid foundation. Very grateful for having attended that conference. It has really inspired me to continue my education specifically in business and the entrepreneurship of it all to make sure that I am running this business efficiently and then also able to scale it to what I want to scale it to. I want to jump back and talk about where all of that anxiety that I was talking about was coming from. Obviously, a big part of my anxiety is not knowing when my next bit of income and where it will be coming from and how much it'll be, and kind of like just waiting to see, like, am I going to make money? Am I going to continue to make money? So that's a big part of my anxiety. But another big part of it was health insurance. Health insurance is one of the reasons I have always held down a 9-to-5. And now that I don't have one, I've had to look at what my options are. So when you get laid off of a job, you have healthcare options that you may be able to pursue through COBRA. When I looked at my Cobra package, I knew immediately that I would not be able to afford that per month. And even going through the healthcare marketplace and looking at some of those monthly fees, I was like, oh, I cannot afford this every month. You know why? Because I just lost my full-time job. So I actually don't have the money to pay for this. And it just made me so upset, because I know that healthcare is a really big issue for a lot of people in this country. And it is absolutely disgusting to me how much it costs for people to get basic medical care. And so just looking at these packages, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not feasible. My husband is a full-time student right now. He's a graduate student. He is working on his doctorate in physical therapy. And so we were fully dependent on my income and my health insurance. Luckily, because this is a qualifying life event, we were able to apply for insurance through his school, and he's able to cover me. When I tell y'all, that is such a tremendous blessing that we have this option and we will have that health insurance at least for the next 8 months. It gives us a buffer to be able to figure out what we're going to do after he graduates. And the cost of it was substantially lower than what any of those monthly premiums through Cobra or through the healthcare marketplace were. Just to share so you have an idea, the cost of the health insurance for the next 8 months was about $4,200, which when I tell you was dramatically cheaper, dramatically. Like through the healthcare marketplace, it was like $1,700 per month. And I'm like, slow down, Savannah. I don't know how I'm making this work yet. I cannot give you $1,700 a month. And my Cobra was double that. So having this option through my husband's school has been a tremendous blessing, and it gives us a buffer until we figure out what we are going to do. Now, the great thing about my husband's graduation coming up is that he is about to be a doctor. He's going to be a doctor of physical therapy. I am so glad that he is going to be a doctor, because he is going to have income coming in post-graduation. And we do know that for sure in some way, shape, or form. But until then, it is very much a game of how do we make this work? I do not have all of the answers yet, but I'm making a lot of educated guesses and doing a lot of strategic planning to try to project out what may or may not happen. As a full-time influencer, I realized that there is going to be a major shift in the creator economy pending the ban of TikTok in January 2025. And TikTok is the place where I have the largest audience. My Instagram audience is half of the size of my TikTok, and my YouTube audience isn't even half the size of my Instagram following. So TikTok is the place where I have the largest community. And since I have the largest community over on TikTok, I tend to charge more for TikTok campaigns than I do for my other platforms. And so if TikTok does get banned in January 2025, that will be a substantial portion of my income. And honestly, it hurts my brain if I think about it too long. I don't fully know what to do about it, but what I am intentionally doing is thinking about that and how it might affect me and making plans that hopefully pan out so that I don't feel the brunt of that. So recently a friend told me that she hopes that I take the time that I have, that I've been given back with having more free time in my day, that I take time to rest and heal. And I am so not good at that. Resting is something that I'm terrible at, and I truly need to be better at it, because there's nothing that I need to do to be worthy of rest. And I have operated in that so long that in order to get a rest, I have to earn it. I earn rest by just being a human being. Like, I don't need to do work in order to justify me having rest. And so having more time to kind of sit in my life has been helpful for me to see just what I need to work on in terms of me being just an individual, like a human being. It has given me some time to rejuvenate and recharge. And while I just want to very much stress that I'm not good at sitting still, I know that it's good for me. And I'm trying to make that a better practice. I think that when you have a life event like this happen to you, you do have to address all of the uncomfortable feelings that you feel. I've felt so many things over this past month, and it kind of like bounces backwards and forwards. Like some days I'm good to go, other days I'm hurt, sad, angry, frustrated, all the things. And so having to give myself space to process those feelings in a productive way is something that has also been a challenge, but something that is very necessary in order for me to move forward. Another one of my friends shared with me that she hopes that I use this time to explore all of the things that I've always wanted to explore, to use this time almost as like a sabbatical or a time of discovery. And the way she phrased that just really excites me, because I'm like, while I am nervous and scared and I don't know what's going to happen, there's a part of me that's like, well, it's an opportunity to try something completely new. And while I do feel like I have a little bit of a clock on that, because money is necessary to live in New York City, I am excited about giving myself that opportunity at the minimum over the next 90 days, because after the next 90 days, I really will have to make some serious decisions about what I'm going to do. I can comfortably give myself 90 days where I know all of my bills will be paid and finances will be locked in. But after that, question mark. So I am looking forward to really delving in over these next 90 days and seeing if I can turn my fun money into a full-time, fully fledged, fully realized, successful six-figure business. One of the things that really encouraged me when I was at the Gold Digger Conference in Texas, and there were about 30 female Black entrepreneurs in attendance who were all working on various businesses. One of the things that really stood out to me in my interactions with the other entrepreneurs that were present at this conference that I went to in Dallas is that many of them started their entrepreneurship journeys after being laid off from a job. And while obviously I don't like to hear about anyone's misfortune, I wouldn't even call it misfortune, because they turn those circumstances into dreams they've always wanted to live out. And so it was so inspiring to hear so many people share that with me, because I'm like, wait, is this the beginning of my late night talk show story? Like, the day I got laid off, someone actually said that to me. They were like, I just really feel like you're going to be sitting down being interviewed by someone, and this is going to be the start of you explaining how you got to where you are, because you got laid off from your job and that made you open and available for a new opportunity. Really thought that I was going to be able to keep the energy consistent that I had the first week that I got laid off, that kind of energy where I felt confident and secure, and that I was going to be able to keep that up. That literally went downhill so fast. Like, I literally just started freaking out, and I'm trying to manage my emotion, right? Because ultimately, anxiety, as we learn from Inside Out 2, anxiety is there to protect you. But sometimes anxiety can be counterproductive. And so I'm trying to manage my anxiety about this whole situation so that I can move forward in a way that is productive and hopefully live out my dream of being a full-time entrepreneur for as long as I wish. In this month and a week, it has been a very up and down journey emotionally, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens in 2025. I do hope that I figure it out so that I can live out this dream, but I just wanted to share how it's going. I know a lot of people have been laid off this year just from different things that I've seen online and experiences like with my personal friends, family, and network. I recognize this is something that is not happening to just me, and one of the things that I'm very grateful for is that I had a business that I was working on the side, because if I didn't have this, I wouldn't have anything. And I think that I would be in an even worse position if I didn't at least have this. So I'm so grateful that I had a business that I was working on. And even though I wasn't ready to jump out and make it my full-time thing, I'm glad that I have it. And this year was my most successful year financially in my business. Now, it's not where I want it or need it to be just yet in terms of a business that I can live off full time. But for fun money, I was having fun money. Now my fun money is the main money. So we have some work to do. We have to figure it out. If you like this kind of content and my vibe resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss when I upload a new video. And do me a favor and go ahead and pray for your girl, because I'm out here trying to figure it out. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.